Hey everybody, Tommy G here, and stopping off in Switzerland on the way back from Venice. The sightseeing in Venice. Now we're going to be up in Switzerland doing some stuff. We do the pattern at Birrfeld, Cessna 172, approximately 10 minutes. It says. I'm going to click on it here. It kind of shows you what's the happenings. There's Birrfeld, and well, here's the airport. Actually, you can see it's just west of Zurich, Switzerland. So we're going to take off in the 172 SP Skyhawk at noon UTC, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon local. Visibility 20 kilometers, 8 nautical miles, 10 minutes fly short, left-hand traffic pattern with the Cessna 172. So yeah, we're just doing a left-hand pattern coming around, going back in. So that's what we're going to do. Let's hop in the plane. Back in the cockpit, a little bit, show you kind of what I'm looking at here. I've done I've selected the time to local time instead of UTC. We're setting up the altimeter, the altitude to be the 2300. Got the heading bug straight away there. We got throttle all the way in. 55 knots, going to rotate slightly. Picking up and just off the ground a little bit. And make a pretty good landing or takeoff. We're trying to keep this, I want to try and keep this around 10 degrees nose climb, but we're climbing a little fast, so I got to level this out a little bit, but we got to get over these ridges right here at the end of the runway. So that's kind of something you got to look out for. But again, like I say, the pattern is only at 2300, so we're more than halfway there already. Climbing out at 75 knots. Got a good climb rate. Birrfeld off our left wing. Check things out from the tower vantage point. There's us climbing out, looking pretty good. Climbing away from the airfield over the highway. Beautiful weather here in Switzerland right now. We'll hit the landing gear, so we'll make our turn. We're now turning crosswind. Back in the cockpit. We are going to have, we're going to head out about north, just west of north here as we keep climbing. We're just now leveling out at 2300, so as we get over flap speed here at 2300, I'm going to pull the throttle back slightly. Bring us down to about 2300 RPM is what I'm going to shoot for. Cruise speed of about 95 knots. And yeah, so 1,000 feet over the pattern. If you look back at Birrfeld at the airport there, we're 1,000 feet over the runway. We got a lot of these ridges, like right here, we're probably only 200 feet above the treetops. So, you know, it's not your average pattern. You do have to watch out for mountains here in Switzerland. I first did this pattern, flew it once in VR, but you know what, folks, I just decided I'm going to go back to VR once I get my new rig. I'm saving up for a new PC, and when I get there, I should be able to do that. That'll look really good, but with this setup, it's just, you've seen some of them, there's some stutter, it's getting worse, so I'm looking forward to getting that new rig. I'll do more VR flying then, and then I get to use the hands, you know, the blue hands, to sort of point at stuff and show you things. Right now, all we're looking out here is the rail yard of Birrfeld, which is, yeah, if you look back that way, that's going to be where Zurich is. Now to turn on downwind, we're going to be heading roughly west, not quite 100%, still maintaining about 2300 RPM. I have everything on. I didn't turn off my fuel pump or anything. I mean, I turned off my landing and taxi lights, but I didn't even have to. And there you can see, like, the rail, again, the rail kind of goes right up to the edge of the river there. There's a few bridges here. Kind of a picturesque looking little area. Pretty nice to fly out there. And that way out you can see the Alps, the Swiss Alps. So it kind of runs along Lake Zurich. But from here, you know, like the center of the town is about in here. where you're going to have most of the industry and whatnot. A lot of houses out here. Nice places along the river if you can get them. But yeah, so now we're heading downwind, and as we head downwind, like here, we're probably, you know, 600, 700 feet above the ground. Let's see, if you look back out of the airfield, we're 1,000 above that airfield. So yeah, we're probably about 700 above right here. But as you can see ahead of us, the ground is slowly sloping up. And we're going to be maintaining 2,300 at our turn, so we're only going to be a couple hundred feet above the pattern as we turn towards the downwind. I'm going to, you know, change a heading to the south and climb to about 2,700, I think. Maybe 25, 27. I'll start at 25. See how that goes. And then I'll also put my taxi and landing lights back on so they can see us coming back around again. But yeah, pretty area out here in Switzerland. Making a stop off here before heading back to the States. Drive out, get some B-roll ready for baseball. Starting baseball in a few weeks. A couple weeks, actually. Not a few weeks. So we're getting all ready for that. There's one little settlement that we're going to pass over here. Only a couple hundred feet. Let's see if we go to Journal here. We are flying along. We're just coming right over the top of it. There it is under our landing gear. And as we get closer here, we're nearing, you know, about 150 feet above the ground. So we're going to start making our turn here. Just the heading bug toward the south. So we're just going to clear these treetops. I don't think you would do this in real life, but here we are. I think it's time to make our turn. So we're going to roll that toward the south after we get over these trees. Over into this valley here. Here we go. And this is kind of cool how it opens up, goes down in here, and there's a little valley in there. Man, that'd be nice. But yeah, we just went over the tops of those trees. In clear weather, maybe. But I don't think you'd want to get that close in real life. You'd want to be brushing your gear with the trees. So here I've already turned it. We're climbing up at a rate of about 500 feet per minute. Altitude set for 2,500. We're going to see if that's good enough. Slowing down slightly once we get into flap speed there. I'm going to give it 10%. Oh, not yet. Maybe I'll hold the flaps off while I'm still climbing out. I want to make sure I get high enough. And now as I'm looking at this, we're about level with the treetops, so I'm going to want to bring us up to 2,700. I'm going to switch this altitude up to 2,700 here. I'm using this knob. Right? Come on, Tom, here we go. 700 foot per minute climb. 2,700. We're going to go over the tops of these trees. A little bit late on the climb there. That's kind of dangerous, right? Slowing slightly, and now that we're inside flap range, we're going to come over this ridge, and now I'm going to drop the altitude down to about 2,100. Because it's all downhill from here. And I'm going to do it about negative 500 foot per minute. And I'm going to pull the throttle back as well after I straighten out here on the downwind. Pull the throttle back to about 1,000 RPM there. Right about there. Maybe 19. I'm going to go 19 because I got to get the airspeed down within flap range there. I need to get it in this white arc. I'd call the tower in about now. I'll flip down my landing light and my taxi lights. Tower, Birrfeld Tower, this is November 519R11 with you. Downwind for landing, or downwind for approach runway guess it's 09er? 08? It's like 08, somewhere around there. It clears. Enter final, runway 08, 519er11, 519er11, enter final, 08. And I gotta give it a little bit more stuff there because I'm still descending here, but I want to start to level out. I'm going to level out at the 2000, come over this ridge, and you can already start to see. You should be able to see the airport just on the other side of that. If I come down, see the top of my dash there. That's the runway right off the top of my dash over the 519 or 11. So we're going to aim for that. We're going to come over this ridge and start in our descent. We're slowing about 75 knots now. Come in over the river. No traffic out this way right now. Beautiful. Beautiful day. Now we might have like I say, in the game here, the game populates traffic. And for this airport, it seems to go east to west. So the AI traffic is coming in from the other direction. So you may get an artifact where you see a departing aircraft coming right at us. Don't worry. We're just going to ignore that. Maybe I'll switch camera angles at that point. Alright, I'm trying to stabilize here at 65 knots. We're coming over this ridge. I took it off autopilot. Put my flaps down all the way. I got full landing flaps. I'm hanging out at 70 knots, and I'm running the trim wheel down there to try and... I'm going to want to pull the throttle back, get about 65 knots, and about a 400 foot per minute descent rate. So I get lined up properly. That building off to the right there is Alstom Power. I used to work for a company that converted their electronic documents. I actually know one of the guys I work with got picked up by the company and moved out to Switzerland. So it's entirely possible that I know someone in real life who works at that building. Of course, they're big out here in Switzerland, Germany, so it's a German company. Okay, so we are locked in 70 knots. We got the descent rate right, but I want to cut the throttle back. We're at 2,000. I want to come back on that throttle. There we go. 19 about 1900 RPM, and then I'm going to monkey with my trim to see. There's that aircraft there. So I'm just going to look down. We'll go here. Just look at her. Yeah, see, that wouldn't happen. But here's our gears. We come in. There's the Alstom Power plant. I'm final. We're in a nice approach, just over 65 knots, 400 foot per minute. We got to come over the highway over these high voltage power lines. So that would show up on your chart, on your approach chart, because we're coming over those tops of those lines by about 80 feet. And then look at this. So off to the right here is where they've got for gliders and stuff. So if you want to do gliders, you can do them there. But look at this row of trees right before the runway. I don't know if you do this in real life, but we're going to come over the tops of those trees and cut the engine and swoop down. So this would not be something that you would want to do in real life. But right here, I'm going to pull the throttle back, basically drop in, but now I got to pull back because I don't want to nail it down. There we go. A little hard, a little heavy. But I'm going to pull my flaps up now. And I'm hitting the brakes. I don't want to lock the wheels, so I'm not going to be able to make that first taxiway. So we're not going to worry about that one. Yeah, you can see the glider activity off to the right there. So I got to try a glider at some point. I'll put that on the channel. I'm going to exit here at taxiway. For this farm field, we would get our clearance. There's the taxi. 519er11. There's actually no tower here. So I wouldn't, like I was saying before, talking about tower clearance, I wouldn't do tower clearance. I would say Birrfeld approach. Birrfeld traffic. 519er11 on final stuff, and that's why we passed right underneath that other guy, because he was on a different frequency. They call in the business a near miss. But yeah, if I wasn't doing this challenge, this is one of the challenges that's in here, I would fly the You know, I would just fly regularly, and I would check these airports to see which direction the AI traffic is going, and I would go that same direction. That way, I kind of put myself into traffic. Nice looking twin engine turboprop. I want to start getting Veterano. I want to start getting doing some twin engine stuff. I might do that. I really wanted to do a trip. I know Matt and I did in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We did a trip down Route 66. I think I want to do my own thing in Aerosoft with a twin engine where I go along the Lewis and Clark path. All right, here we are. We're gonna have beer and a pretzel. Good beer and a pretzel here at the cafe. But first, we're gonna park at cafe parking right next to this guy behind the Cherokee. Right here in spot number 2. Then we'll chain her down. Call it a day. Pull to the line here. Put the brakes on. Put the parking brake on underneath there. Okay, do have it on? Yeah, there we go. Parking brake on. I'm going to turn off my different switches down here. Fuel pump, taxi light, strobe, nav, beacon. I've got this quadrant thing controller that I use for that. I can turn off my. I'm gonna choke out the engine there. I'm gonna turn off my avionics with my master avionics switch. Turn off the battery, the alternator. That was a weird view, and then shut that down. And so there we are. Okay, so that's it. Outside the aircraft here at Birrfeld. Thanks for watching, folks, and catch us when we go down to Luzon and do pattern down there. Bye now.